My name is Haley Knutson, and I'm a PhD candidate at the Department of International Business at NTNU. My favorite part about this work is getting to be able to apply our research in real-world contexts all over the world, especially in the CapSEM project. Welcome. In the Part 1 video of this level, we learned about the importance of planning, measuring, and reporting work towards sustainability in an organization through environmental management systems and sustainability communication and reporting. In this video, we will continue to examine approaches to integrate responsible practices into organization strategies and to understand companies' position in a larger system. First, I'll introduce you to corporate social responsibility, better known as CSR, followed by a presentation of the newer concept of sustainable business models. In the CapSEM model, CSR is presented on the systems level, level 4, as it requires the involvement and cooperation of a wide range of stakeholders. Today, however, I will give you an introduction to its principles so that you can see how a company can integrate a CSR policy into its purpose, daily operations, and competitive strategy. As defined by the European Commission, CSR is the responsibility of enterprises for their impact on society. CSR differs in focus from environmental management as it is more concerned with societal impacts and stakeholder involvement ahead of ecological impacts. This doesn't mean that CSR strategies don't include environmental aspects, but that they instead emphasize social principles. These include business ethics, human rights, philanthropy and community investment, anti-corruption and transparency, workers' rights and welfare, market relations, and product responsibility. Implementing a CSR strategy is voluntary and goes beyond any legal and regulatory requirements imposed on the firm. CSR also considers the needs and interests of all stakeholders and takes responsibility for its externalities, or the side effects of doing business, whether positive or negative. Generally, there are two types of companies: firms with defensive CSR strategies to protect them from backlash from customers and other stakeholders. Their CSR policy is more of a response to societal needs and wants. For example, planning charity events because their stakeholders expect them to show they care about society. There are also firms with more integrated CSR strategies, in which CSR is incorporated into the firm's strategy and identity. This is more of a proactive approach that recognizes the potential value, both financial and other, of incorporating outside needs into the firm's strategy. An integrated CSR approach may include community development and education programs that improve employee motivation and train their future workforce. The difference in these firms is in how their strategies are implemented and monitored. Like in an environmental management system, CSR is a way for a company to operationalize, embed, and follow up on sustainability aspects within the organization. A continuous improvement model, like Plan, Do, Check, Act, should also be applied to setting up and maintaining a CSR policy. In this figure, we see 4 reiterating parts. The first step is CSR planning, in which the company builds competence of CSR in its organization and defines CSR within its context. The next step is CSR analysis, in which the company should identify stakeholder expectations and relevant CSR aspects across its value chain. Next is a CSR plan of action, when the company establishes its internal strategy and goals for CSR. Finally is the step of CSR implementation, when the company follows up on its action plans, measures its progress, and makes plans for future improvement. CSR is likely to bring positive effects to company image and reputation and to employee motivation, retention, and recruitment. In addition, a systematically implemented CSR strategy can create cost savings through increased efficiency and revenue increases from higher sales and market share due to the attractiveness of the company. CSR can also help companies avoid and minimize risks and react to the needs of society. And now, onto sustainable business models, a relatively new concept that spans fields of organizational strategy, corporate sustainability, and systems transitions. Sustainable business models are not a specific management system, but are instead related to the value creation process of an organization. Sustainable business models present an opportunity to affect larger societal and environmental change through the transformation of the value that guides the current market. They also provide a vehicle for firms to increase their own long-term value and competitiveness. Before discussing sustainable business models further, we must first understand the concept of business models in the traditional sense. Whether or not a company can explicitly define their business model when asked, each follows some logic to create and deliver value to its customers and to capture that value back into the organization. We can simply define a business model as a reflection of a company's strategy that explains how it creates and captures value. A business model can then be framed around three elements: the value proposition, value creation and delivery, and value capture. A company's value proposition is the product or service it provides to the customer to help them meet a need, do a job, or solve a problem more effectively, reliably, or conveniently, all at a given price. A company can describe its value proposition by answering the questions, who are our customers, and what product or service do we provide them? The value creation and delivery contains the combination of the company's unique resources, partners, and activities that are needed to get the product or service to its customers. That is, what resources do we need, what do we have to do with those resources, and who do we work with to deliver our product or service to our customer? The value capture relates to how the company manages or structures the balance between its costs associated with delivering value to the customer and its income, the price customers are willing to pay for their delivered value. The combination of these elements forms a business model. Now that we have a basic understanding of one, let's transition into one that includes sustainability. As you may have guessed, sustainable business models are business models that incorporate the principles of sustainability. But it's not quite that simple. A sustainable business model redefines the way a company measures its value and success. It must integrate certain perspectives into its structure of value elements, including considering the needs and requirements of stakeholders, measuring both monetary and non-monetary value, and taking a long-term perspective toward its value capture. Most simply, it must measure value not only through money, but through its impact on society and the environment as well. Now, let's talk about the three value elements in terms of sustainability. The value proposition in a sustainable business model removes the purely economic value a firm associates with its product or service. It shows that the relationship between the firm and its customers is instead based on an exchange of value, the customer's wants and needs, rather than on the product or service itself. If the customer wants to purchase a sustainable product, they may be willing to pay more to have the same need met, or even sacrifice some functionality for positive social and environmental benefit. Drawing attention to its position in a larger system, value creation and delivery in a sustainable business model is based on sustainable supply chain processes that reduce ecologic and social pressure and consider the impacts on actors and environments across the product's life cycle and value chain. Companies may introduce a new technology for improved resource efficiency and production, redesign their transport systems, or improve their labor conditions and workers' rights. Sustainable value capture, therefore, recognizes the value awarded to the firm in performing across the triple bottom line of sustainability and helps to balance the value the firm associates with social, environmental, and economic costs and benefits. Placing value on a reduction in resources or emissions, or on the benefit of creating community work programs, can then work its way into the firm's overall cost-benefit structure. By viewing its business model as a system of activities, a company can work to identify where and how change processes can be made. To better understand sustainable business models, let's look at a few in practice. Sustainable business model archetypes are classifications of different models by the mechanism or innovation they use to deliver sustainability. In this figure, 8 individual archetypes are grouped by their main innovation type, either technological, social, or organizational. In the social innovation grouping, there are models for delivering functionality rather than ownership, product stewardship, and encouraging sufficiency. The organizational grouping includes models for scale-up solutions for repurposing the environment and society. Under the technological grouping, we find models of material and energy efficiency, including the dematerialization of products and packaging, and lean and low-carbon manufacturing processes. Creating value from waste models, including closed-loop systems of the circular economy, and shared ownership and collaborative consumption models. And finally, models for substituting renewables and natural processes, such as the shift from non-renewable to renewable energy sources in a company's value chain. See this article for more information on the value creation and capture processes of the individual archetypes. The next video will introduce you to some approaches to further integrate organizational strategies like CSR and sustainable business models into large industrial and stakeholder networks, paving the way for system-level sustainability transition. Thank you for your attention.